these are individuals who we've seen pull off little bits of magic, right? We know they've got the potential and they've got the aim there. Clearly, with their recent results, they are thriving in CS2. So if they can run that momentum, I mean, the reverse sweep's a possibility, and we are just about ready to get in and see if they can make that happen. First map, of course, is the Overpass. Aurora starting over on the T side of things. I'm not sure, Dean. I used to think this was CT-sided, but having played a bit of CS2 now, I can't help but feel like the Glocks just feel different.
Yeah, no, I've been real crisp with the Glock of all weapons. Like, I don't play a ton of the game anymore, so in general, I'm pretty Glock. Running good on a little bit more. Yeah, it'll definitely be an interesting dynamic here. The approach from Aurora, it doesn't look like anything too quick to capitalize on those advantages, at least in the early stages. Standard enough with jkaem peak mid info. They went for that peak stack. That's pure matchmaking fault. And you have to want everyone else to go B for you.
To be fair, I don't think the matchmaking plays necessarily have the skill to construct the short take, however. As you can see, Kixen and Nork taking that control away, allowing the rotation up. 3 players now on the A site. Perfectly positioned as the B side, still prodding and poking. A man in towards the connector, looking to split that. One out towards the long bathrooms. Not necessarily decided on a play yet, as they're going to look to explode into short. Kenzie just hoping perhaps to draw the crosshairs for a couple seconds longer. And jkaem, well, he may well give him the opportunity here. A swift double dink from Kenzie opens things up. And that's actually going to draw this T side right back up towards this A site, where only a couple of defenders remain. CacaNito and Sense trying to do what they can. But those USPs, I mean, we cursed them before we started. They just don't feel quite right anymore. The Glocks ripping their way through. CacaNito able to get at least one, but he's got to abandon the site. And that's going to open up the opportunity for the plant now with rotations incoming. They're still facing this USP. CacaNito somehow still alive, and he is going to have to continue trying to retreat out of this situation. Kixen gets one, but again, the trade is instant here, and with Lackey doubling up onto Nork, it's Aurora who come off with the T-side pistol.
Yeah, that was a struggle there for CacaNito. They just kept on hunting him down. Double peaks pretty much every time he's seen anyone. He never had a chance for that one-on-one, so it's just panic spams really from the USP, hoping to connect. Aurora take the opening pistol round, despite walking into what was the A stack. So they walk into it, they still manage to get those early picks, take the advantage, and just kind of slowly pick away at that A defense. And now they're moving into a pretty secure rifle buy. Only one MAC-10 in the reserve there to try and build up a bit of money on Lackey. They have some nades as well to hopefully clear things out. And they are going to be contending with a connector stack on the stairs, interestingly, all 5 of them.
I mean, this is where MR12 and the CT economy as it is starts to get really mean for you. They're going to hear this connector push here. Selta on the Galil should be okay. Gets himself in a little bit of trouble. And the MAC-10 of Lackey's gone past his second mark. So a couple of USP kills. That's a Galil recovered. I mean, they're going to try and hunt it for all it's worth. Of course they are. And Norway has got a little bit of a better spray than the first man in. So he'll pick himself up a nice swift ace here in round 2. But a couple of kills, it's not awful damage, but you can look over at that CT economy now and you see the problem. Because as they start to buy and they start to assemble this together, they've lost their first 2 rounds. This is their first rifle. They didn't force in the second, remember, and it's still sketchy as anything. You've got 3 players sacrificing head armor, low utility on 2. I've not seen a defuse kit come out because they simply can't afford it. The economy in this game now is so punishing for the CTs, and it gives Aurora now the perfect platform. They take this one, they're going to be 4-0 up before there's any kind of response.
Yeah, I was going to say, usually in the old days, you probably would have went pistols body armor in that previous round or something and tried to get aggressive around connector as they did and had something to work with, just because, as you said here, the buy does not have the utility to back it up. But with less rounds, you can't really afford to push the issue like that. You have to just hope you can get it done here in this first gun round with the limited utility. CacaNito, unfortunately, is not going to be kicking it off to a great start. Sense was flashed off his angle. His teammate overrun. He himself then also taken down in the pit without being able to do a lot more than just a bit of damage. And as you said, they don't have much of an option other than to call for the save. They had 3 players who had pushed deep in on mid and found the info that there was no one there. But that was as, fortunately, their teammates on B found the info that there was a lot of people over in that direction at the same time.
That's one of those calls. You saw the aggression from Apeks, but with 3 outside of B, it was all too easy for Aurora to just wander in. And at that point, if you're going 2-on-3 CT side, I mean, even if it's just trades, the T side are going to get their entries right. But without coming out with a single kill, It's all too easy for Aurora. They just pick off CacaNito early. Sense, as you said, flashed off his first angle of choice, didn't really have the util to support him, swing him wide around the edge of the smoke for the second. So it's relatively simple stuff. Aurora grabbed their third on the board. At the very least for Apeks, the three-man save is allowed to happen. They will be able to bring 3 rifles into the next. Likes of Nork, Kixon can drop across. They can get a decent buy into this fourth, but with the T side already with a buy in their back pocket, it's not a good start.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good start for Aurora. This is exactly what they wanted. Kicking things off on Overpass in good fashion. Mirage then has a boogie map up second, so if Aurora can run over Apeks here in an individual manner, as they have so far in these initial few rounds, just showcasing what they have, then definitely would be a scary prospect. Moving on to Mirage for Apeks. Selter. Probably a good thing he fell back. There's 2 players ready for that aggression. They come through just rather as he falls back through the smoke. Kenzie also ready though at connector, so they look like they will eventually split through. The nade didn't quite give him the vision of the player up close. It doesn't matter though, they're going to push out through Monster instead. Kixon does his best to get one, and that M4 finally comes back in through short and actually manages a second kill before being mollied off. Can't do much, I don't think, with that smoke down now, but it doesn't matter. They're picking them off around the edge of that heaven smoke. I think CacaNito didn't even see him there. He just managed to get the kill, and I'm guessing, I think jkaem was the one that stepped out onto the ledge in the end and maybe just about had vision despite it apparently being through smoke. Either way, an impressive turnaround from Apeks there in what looked like it still could have been a scary round.
Did very well to recover it and didn't actually opt to buy in the way I thought they would. Brought only a couple of upgraded pistols in around those rifles, still able to get one off the deagle, and then, as you said, just chipping away using that new smoke mechanic to get a kill out of heaven. And then jkaem able to swing wide and get his man. So as we come into round 5, the response has been found by the CT side. Still very heavily invested into this one, however. Nork looking to bring the big green in towards connector. Kixon to back him up. The Org starting to come into the meta more and more with this new Pika's advantage, but it's not going to matter. Lackey takes Kixon's head clean off. Doesn't expect Nork, however, in towards connector. He's able to get the response, find the trade. And with jkaem still pushed up on long, there's an opportunity to pincer this now. Matic, however, is having absolutely none of it on his own Orc, manages to find the response. And at this point, the A-bomb site, not that Aurora know it, is technically wide open for the taking. The short setup for CacaNito and Sense. Nork having to use that to get an escape route out of the connector. But these first steps should start to be heard by Norway. And indeed, Selter towards the back of connector. They should start to get an idea of where these rotations are going.
Selter heard those steps back towards the spawn there. Might have thought there was a player rotating up, and that's exactly what's happened. Knock has just left the bomb site, so it's only going to be CacaNito here to try and actually hold off. This is not good. He's heavy, or rather forward on the angle towards the pillar. Makes that work for the initial kill anyway, with only a single player on his way up short, so he's given time to fall back away and actually manages a very solid job taking that second player out. It delays a few seconds. It lets the other 2 rotate down now into what is still going to be a pretty difficult retake, though.
He's bought them half a chance. He's bought some kind of an opportunity. Sense toying with going through that smoke instead. He's going to look to join his Orpa in towards CT. Matic posted on the angle, but baited out by the jump. And now Norway needs to look to activate because he's lost his teammate, stuck in towards the water. Sense and Nork starting to clear this one out. They'll realize sooner rather than later. And Nork just strolls into the angle to take his man. A crucial triple kill from the Orpa there. Felt like they should have had that one worked out, Aurora, but CacaNito does a fantastic job to get something done. A couple of headshots that he really had no right getting. Solo holding that B-bomb site does very well to isolate the fight. Buys his team away back into this and decimates the Aurora economy as well. They're no longer as flush as they looked.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like Latic had the drop on the first player coming out of the CT spawn there as well, but that missed shot comes back to bite them in the ass. That was a rough one for sure. Kenzie's going to fully invest here as well. He's gone straight onto the AK with full Kevlar, and then the 4000 could have maybe just went pistol and body armor or something to join his teammates and had something to work with, but I guess they want that hero rifle to see if they can make it work. RV up close in connector, doesn't quite catch the time and nearly got jkaem as he started moving forward, but doesn't matter. jkaem manages to deal with him and with the follow-up of Selter and with the B-Water aggression that had come through as well. There was no one else really ready to hunt down the low-health player now. So, yeah, it's all on Kenzie and Latic. They were hoping that AK would get a chance to do something special, but it hasn't even got a chance to see anyone yet. He's just having a picnic right now.
Trying to be cheeky about it, I
He's
think.
admiring
Hope
the
that
fact he can see his
CacaNito.
legs. That's what it is.
Oh man, new game, new things. I think he's just hoping that CacaNito's going to exit out top con here, or even jkaem, who instead has looked to loop round. For now, though, not been given anything at all. And I mean, this is the problem. They invested the hero AK, but it wasn't the one to take first contact. Instead, 3 of the pistols go through early. Find absolutely nothing. Latic, of course, is on a Glock, so he can try and get that AWP out again later on. And for Kenzie, it's about what kind of impact you can find here. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world for him to save an AK and full armor. It would give him pretty much the same as what everyone else is going to be able to afford coming into the next round. But realistically, you wanted some kills out of this. You wanted to find some damage. You wanted to try and push that Apeks economy back a little bit, and it just hasn't quite happened. Kenzie finally gets his reward for lurking around party all this time, and will be able to find at least one, but up against the AWP, he's been legged up by Nork, down to 2 HP. Nork decides that he doesn't fancy that fight any longer. And at this point, it's a question of will they hunt it? Kenzie's going to try and hold on to that AK-47 as expected for the next. Down to 2 HP, though. A very easy target. A couple of HEs flying out to see if maybe they can catch him, but he will be allowed to live as we level things up at 3 apiece, and this game starts to get close.
Yeah, I think I understand there, like what the play kind of was. Obviously, they have the 1 AK towards mid, presence around connector and B water, hoping that all of the pistols will be spotted and someone around mid will think, ah, cool, yeah, they're on an eco. Let me run down connector, see if I can get an eco kill or two here to help out. And obviously, if they had have got that kill on jkaem, then maybe things would have been different. The mid player might have even fully fallen back and given a bit of room for the AK to move forward. They could have pinched up towards bathrooms. Even if the player mid did peek after his teammate died in towards connector, if he got that kill, they would have had a player trapped towards connector potentially, or at least forced them back through B if he wanted to get up to A. So 1 or 2 kills really in that situation could have given them a decent chance. Unfortunately, it just didn't pan out. Now they're coming onto a very crucial gun round where ideally Aurora want to get themselves back on their feet here, because the last 3 rounds have gone fairly firmly over towards Apeks. They've built up a decent economy as well throughout those few rounds. CacaNito really kind of sucking in that regard with only 750 in the reserve. Deep molly though on mid from jkaem. He wants to take this fight. Doesn't quite spot anyone. Latic did actually manage to get across into the playground. CacaNito very aggressive back on B. Aurora not afraid at all to take that challenge. Do at least manage to trade, but the wallbang in onto Norvi as well does some pretty solid damage. Latic also, as he made his way out towards playground, as we said, did take some nade damage. So despite the 4-on-4 normally favouring the T side, with a bit of damage done, I would say Apeks are in an okay position, especially as it looks like they're willing to take a gamble. They're flashing monster, they're peeking through together to try and get some info about what's going on, and hopefully they'll begin to rotate at least one player back up to help out Knock.
They're thinking about it. Kixon's thinking about getting someone up there, and indeed we will see jkaem start to make his way around. Nork just jump spotting for now, seeing if any information's given away. And you can understand the call from Aurora there in the early round. We've seen Apeks consistently taking that short connector control, so looking to try and find the counter to that. Gets them at least a 1-for-1. As you said, though, the wallbang damage is significant, and now as Kenzie's starting to try and pull eyes with this fake, just solo out towards short. The molly, though, ticks at the feet of Lackey and starts to give the sound cues away. Starts to let Nork know what's coming. Smoke over the top. jkaem posted on the long angle. Nork, for now, posted on the bathrooms. It's going to allow for Norway to get up very close here. And Kenzie manages to pick one down on B, but it's not going to be enough to draw the rotations. Nork, then jkaem, combining beautifully up on the A site. And since, well, it's a little laggy, it's a little awkward, but the wallbang connects regardless. Apeks, again, a solid CT round. And once these rifles have come out, they've been unopposed.
Yeah, they've been at the top of their game. Or the apex of it.
For them, Tish.
Wasn't a great joke. Won't lie. Wasn't even much of a joke. Anyway, Aurora back onto the pistols. They'll be hoping for a few kills, etc. But I don't think this is the round they're going to be able to take home. This next gun round is when they really need to come alive again. Otherwise, this half is likely to run away from them. After we had said they had a pretty good start as well, a fairly convincing one. See, this aggressive op, I was going to say, could pose some opportunities for them. A missed shot may have allowed them to overrun the angle, but Knock was playing it relatively safe. Spotted the player in the back, takes one shot, falls away, and hoped, really, I'd imagine, to bait them in toward jkaem with that AK. For now, though, no one's on the hunt. It's a standard enough default from Aurora, hoping these Deagles can manage some splitting picks, and apparently Lackey has gotten himself one. Didn't actually manage to catch that shot itself, but that AK I mentioned earlier on around Bathrooms finally gets to pop off, and CacaNito, also playing a pretty aggressive angle there around Connector, manages to shut down that lurker. So it's only Norvi left alive. He's already lost all the ground on the A side of things with jkaem pushing forward as well. So he's likely to be caught off guard here any moment.
Yeah, caught between a rock and a hard place. Lackey doing well to dive out a monster and find sense, but
Timing.
not able to get any more than that. Nork has abandoned the angle, so there's half a chance here on a timing for Norway, and that's exactly what he takes. Nice headshot. That's the AWP down as well. Life starts to get a little sketchy now. You can see the CT side aware that they perhaps overextended, and Norway takes full advantage. A lovely headshot onto CacaNito, a couple of kills just to keep Apeks guessing. And well, that's exactly what the doctor ordered, right? If you're not going to win the round, at the very least take a few scalps with you. 3 kills off the Deagles. Aurora, as much as they don't get the round, they get good damage. A reinvestment will start to come in, and an opportunity with the rifles out now to try and punish it.
Yeah, and it needs to happen right here, right now. Ideally, to try and at least grind out 2 more rounds. Maybe on that T side, get it towards 5. At the very least. Only in Connector. Smoke down from jkaem just to let them know, yo, our presence, it is around here. So you're not going to be getting it for free, although they will do eventually as he falls back away. Just doesn't want them to know that. This boost on the op. Looking like it's going to pay off. The timing, unfortunately, is horrible. He had just checked the angle a second before. Selter used his smoke and Connector, which I believe was just intended, obviously, to stop that peak, or jkaem smoke, rather, it was even.
Look at the response. Look at the response. 3 up long, straight away. They spot the boost. Right, that's 3 on B. Let's charge it.
Off alone.
So much ground gained. And I mean, they have no idea here. CacaNito's picked up the AWP to try and support jkaem as a secondary, but he's got no idea. He's going to get popped long without a clue here. Only just now working his way into the bathrooms. It should be a guaranteed kill. And Lackey, well, he might get even more here. He's going to catch the rotation of Kixan completely freely. There goes Kenzie. Now they've just got to be aware that the bathrooms is the only portion of this map they don't have control of right now. And for jkaem and CacaNito, they are pinned between a rock and a hard place. Kenzie gets one. Lackey there to support him beautifully. And for Sense, well, how'd you pick up the pieces in a 1v5? Nothing to do but try and save that M4. And it all stems from perhaps just being a little keen there, Nork, on that boost in towards short. You would think if the condor is blown open and the smoke isn't giving you full cover, maybe you fall off that angle. You don't try and commit to it because, as you said, he's holding 2 angles at once there. It's just a game of timings. And as soon as it goes against you, you could see the response from Aurora. They're like, right, we know there's 3 down on B here. Let's charge up long. Let's pile the pressure on. And luckily for them, they threaded the needle perfectly. He's going to go for the ninja here. Not happening.
Got onto it a bit too soon before that smoke popped as well. Even if he didn't, the AK was on its way out long, so it would have been pretty difficult to actually stick the outright defuse. If it was only the op or on short watching it, then perhaps. Yeah, I mean, Aurora, they grind out that 4th round. They do it with pretty much everyone surviving as well, rather, so they look pretty comfortable in that regard. But Apeks still have the economy to get this buyout. It's pretty much everything they could ask for, but they have spent all of that money. So if Aurora get this one, not only are they getting that 5th round I wanted them to find, they'll likely be heading towards 6, maybe even 7 to finish out the half. So they could end this on a very high note. jkaem gifted a bit of a kill there as Lackey emerges through that mid-smoke. They have just about enough time to fall back away as well before they can be hunted down, as you can see by Kenzie, who was desperately looking for a trade here. Fortunately, it's not going to be given easy. They will have to work for it. I believe that's jkaem has actually stayed pretty aggressive around the bathrooms. It's pretty risky considering his health and his teammates already fallen back to watch long.
I think he's just hoping to catch a man, not aware, and that's exactly what he gets. Kenzie, no way he's expecting that angle. jkaem gets a freebie, and on half HP, he'll take that every day of the week, able to convert it into a 3-on-5. Retreats towards the site, or does he? He's thinking about being cheeky yet again here, jkaem. Nork is there as he pops the smoke. Perfectly timed. jkaem grabs a triple. And as much as Latic finds the trade, that's all jkaem could really ask for, right? He's 46 HP after the first engagement. He gets not 1, but 2 cheeky kills off the back of it. and leaves Latic and Norway a 2v4 to try and find a conversion on, if they even want to give it a go. You know, like you said, the economy, not necessarily the most established thing in the world. You know, Latic's got an AWP. If he goes down here, I don't think he's going to be getting that again. So maybe at this point in as they start to retreat away, it looks like it, just considering the save. Looking to hold on to what they got, live to fight another day. And that's a big win for Apeks. A critical swing round in the context of the half has gone their way.
Yeah, I mean, they get 1900, so their buy should be pretty solid. It maybe could have been worthwhile trying to take away a weapon or two from Apeks because they really can't afford to lose them, but Aurora just want to play the long run, play into their own economy strengths rather than trying to force weaknesses over on the Apeks side of things. Probably just confident that they can grind out some more of these gun rounds. Yeah, as I said, they'll get everything they could ask for on the buy here. Apeks as well, able to get a lot of nades that they lacked in that previous round and actually build on their own economy as well, thanks to surviving with 4 players. So while neither team really has a stable economy now moving into these last few rounds, they are in similar boats. See how this plays out. Aurora, though, if they lose this one, could be facing that 8-4 half without too much of a chance to put up a fight in the next round. They'd be lacking a couple of rifles and such. So it's not an ideal position to be in. Although it does look like Aurora are changing things up compared to the previous few rounds where they've had that presence around mid pretty much every time. Instead, they have 3 outside Monster, 1 lurking in around Connector, and just 1 ensuring they won't be pushed down on A. It's jkaem, though, pushing Connector, where we will eventually find this first contact, and Selter's ready for it. jkaem gets shut down, but there's still a 3-man stack on towards B. So it's interesting. Will they actually put the commitment in on this side of the map? That didn't land, I don't think, but that looked very close.
Very, very close to connecting. Not quite to B, though. And for the first time in a while, it's Aurora with an early man advantage. Nade into the connector for Kixon will give the information away that someone's home and they're looking for him. Boosted up. CacaNito on the sight angle catches Lackey as he looks to retreat, and that's a perfect response from Apeks. A little bit of proactivity on that CT side. Nets them the 4-on-4, and as Aurora look to head in towards this B bomb site, I mean, you couldn't ask for a much better position as a CT side. 3 of your 4 remaining players are here, ready and waiting. They look for the swing, but Latic is ready for it, and now they're in trouble. Sense his position known out towards the barrels. CacaNito trying to do what he can, rotating in towards CT. Sense is still alive for now, but the HE into the smoke is perfect for Kenzie. Pops it wide open. And for CacaNito, he's got Nork, but he's all the way out towards the A site still. He hasn't rotated from the bathrooms. Knows that the only way he's getting into this round is if CacaNito goes huge, and a 1-for-1 just isn't going to be it. A 5th round on the board for Aurora. An AWP hopefully saved for Nork to make something of this. But that's a really nicely constructed round from the T side. And the first time in a while, as you said, that they've hit down towards B, perhaps now realizing that that's what they should have been doing all along.
Yeah, I think they'd been more focused on trying to maybe punish that aggression that time and time again had been coming in around Connector and just weren't able to get it done. Nock trying to save that up is also in trouble right now. So let's see, should be okay if he backs away. I don't know how heavy they're actually willing to hunt this. Considering they're going into the last round, they may as well throw their players at it. And yeah, all 3 are actually on the way now. Let's see if Nock can stay alive around this smoke. Only needs a few more seconds to get it done, but no, hunted down, spammed from both sides. There was nothing that he could do right there at all. So the op will not be carried forward. They don't have the money to buy another one either. They barely have the money to get a couple of M4s. So this is a rough spot to be in. It gives Aurora a solid chance of tying this half up at 6-6. Which, I mean, in the beginning, when they started things off 3-0, you would have said not great. But after how desperate it got there for a stretch of about 5 or 6 rounds, it is a solid recovery, definitely, that they've managed to put in. And a pause coming into this final round.
Trying to work out what on earth they're going to do here, knowing, as you said, the buy just isn't quite right. They're missing some bits and pieces. Initially, there was a FAMAS that came out, I think, for Sense, but
more like they've got bits
refunded.
And pieces. They're missing the majority of it.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that. They're going to scrape together a not so half bad buy, though. I mean, yes, they're lacking the utility, but the firepower is solid. Admittedly, no defuse kit, so I suspect that they'll be taking the fight to Aurora in this last one, but it's not a shabby buy at all, and that MP9 in this version of the game, very powerful if it gets the right opportunities. Full buy, of course, is very, very strong for Aurora. Full AK-47s, AWP and Latic, good util across the board. So the question is, what cheeky play do Apeks try and pull out here in the last round of this first half? to make some magic happen. Thus far, it's very standard. jkaem occupies the angle that netted him a cheeky kill against Kenzie just a couple of rounds ago. A little bit of aggression from CacaNito in towards short, but it's read and dispatched off by Norway. The pop flash is trying to get sent into the angle, but with the T-side smoke down, the escape is clear for Norway. And that one, well, I don't think that quite worked out how Apeks would have hoped in their heads.
No, I mean, they needed to make some sort of a play, try something crazy there in the early stages, considering, as you said, they have no nades, but yeah, it hasn't quite panned out. Now they're just even more on the back foot. Two players pushing up on short. This is a setup they've played a couple of times already, so I don't think it's going to completely catch Aurora off guard. Let's see, Celter up closer, needs to deal with that backroom player. Unfortunately, loses a teammate, now fully aware that he is being flanked on. Couldn't do much to help his teammates on the bomb site, rather, but they do eventually get that trade as well. But it's not a confirmed position by any means. The damage is still done. Oof. And I was going to say they just barely have that numbers advantage, but as I say, that Sense is left alone. He's had a rough time so far as he gets shut down by the op of Latic. That's going to be 6-6 at the halftime. When we come back, we need to see Apeks again find their footing in that second half on the T side.
Well, we thought this game could be close, and that's exactly how it's panned out on the map pick of Aurora. 6-all as we head into the half, close as can be. And Apeks looking to get back to winning ways on this T-side pistol. An interesting little buy from them as well. Kixon opting for a full belter util. jkaem getting himself raid bossed into a pair of Julies, hoping to take contact in towards Connector. Unfortunately for him, it's a very similar play to what Apeks looked for on their CT side pistol. An early short take. That map control taken away, followed up by a rotation out onto A. So Norway, whilst he's a little isolated at the moment, is very swiftly going to get some supporting units here as they look to push this one up through the bathroom. Sense, head decapitated. That's a smoke on the ground early, and a man advantage for Aurora to try and work with.
Yeah, let's see if they can capitalize on it. Norby was still pretty aggressive, I was going to say. Could have been cut around bathrooms. Escapes with just a dink, but his teammates down on B are not having quite as much success, I don't believe. It's going to leave Latic now in a rough position back towards the ramp.
Oh.
Taps off the head of Jacob, though, and he seems to have stagnated that push on short, which allowed for Lackey, as you can see now, to rotate in, trying to use his teammate as a little bit of cover there as he took that fight. Unfortunately, it's Nox Glock that reigns supreme, and suddenly it's a 2-on-2. I would say somewhat in favor of Apeks. You can see Aurora want to push this issue as fast as possible, knowing they have one player pinned in on that bomb site, but it's so difficult to deal with the dual Berettas, and Kenzie's teammate suffers for it. He gets that trade and is now forced into the one-on-one. He has a kit, but he just needs to kill, and somehow makes it work. He faked the drop down and pulled Knock back onto the fight and manages to take the win.
Oh, he's going to replay that one over and over. Kenzie with the sound cue fake gets the better of him. Nork just peeking right into the crosshairs when he really didn't need to. Second half pistol goes the way of Aurora, and an opportunity for them again to start building.
Maybe some overconfidence there from Knock as well, thinking, okay, should have this kill fairly easy. Peeks back into it. And, yeah, was kind of outplayed by the fake drop. Sense isn't having a great game either. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong that round. He just got obliterated by Norvi, I believe, on that push up through bathrooms with that initial one tap. He's been having some rough times in general. But they have rifles here, so this isn't the worst buy we've ever seen. Firepower-wise, they're fairly on par with Aurora.
That's both pistols for Aurora, though, which is always going to be rough, especially in the new format. T-side, as you said, always a little bit easier to get this force into round 2. Definitely feels like you're, well, I wouldn't even say even, probably slightly in the ascendancy here with 2 MP9s on the board. Couple AKs, couple Galils, plenty of firepower potential for Apeks as they're just prodding and poking in these early stages. Not looking to overextend too much. Kenzie takes the dink on the chin. Able to dispatch of Kixon, but it is only the Tech 9 that goes down, so not world ending yet for Apeks.
Yeah, I was going to say I was the only player without the rifle that got that fight, and if it had been one of the AKs, the Dink likely would have got the kill. Even the Galils might have gotten the finish. The Tech 9 can be a bit wild. But as you said, at least it was only the Tech 9 that goes down because of that. They shift their full focus back towards B, and they're going to find a very heavy stack here. 2 players up close on short as well, which is a strong position considering the majority of this attack is coming in from Monster, but never mind. CacaNito manages to catch that first player off guard, and they've just completely overrun that B-bomb site despite the stack that was in place. They made it look so easy.
Couldn't finish their food. Sense down on 40, Jacob on 26. The MP9 just not quite able to find its mark. CacaNito playing arguably against the meta there, peeking very slowly, very cautiously into the angle. The MP9 just not expecting it. Goes down early on short, and at that point, it's just a matter of overwhelming the site, and that MP9, out towards Monster, so close to getting it all done. Not to be. And for Kenzie and Latic, I mean, this is arguably worse than losing the pistol for CT Economy. It's going to leave them absolutely decimated, so making absolutely sure they can save what they can. Couple of rifles to bring forward into the next round will at least give them a little bit of bite. And with Apeks losing a couple bodies, they don't really want to commit any more than that, so they're happy to allow this handshake to occur. As we get back into it at 7 apiece. T-side firmly in the ascendancy, though. This buy is going to be very solid for them, and there's some big questions to be asked of Aurora. With just the 1900 loss bonus coming, got to imagine, yep, we'll see the 4 spies coming in for Seltzer and Lackey. MP9 just juggling around to try and get some kind of a buyout. Seltzer will end up on the 5-7, but it's not a bad look again for the CT side. They're just about scraping it together. Problem is, if this one goes south, then they very definitely won't be. 1900 loss bonus in the bank if they can't get this conversion, and Kenzie knows it, trying to press the issue very early on with the M4A1. Has Latic in support, so it's all the heavy firepower saved from the previous round up towards A, as the menagerie of FAMAS MP9 and 5-7 are trusted to try and hold on to that B site for a little while longer.
Yeah, well, I think they'll be okay down on B for the moment, considering the full focus of Apeks is around that mid area for the moment. The player aggressive up on long, Kenzie just jump spotting from the bomb site, so it's fairly standard in terms of the hold. They're not going to get a super early warning, especially as Kenzie seems to be rotating down.
What is this read? They want to take short.
Yeah, I was going to say, just as they're going aggressive on B as well, it's weird. I guess he wants to be there to back them up if they do find that there's someone ready to push through onto B. He also needed to be in a spot to rotate back up, so he did stick around heaven. Problem is, Latik's about to find contact here. He has 2 players coming around long already. Overrun by the Mac 10 as he jumps around that corner, but the flank now from Connector could be a big play here if Kenzie can hold them off long enough. And yeah.
And there it is, Norway. Able to grab a double on the FAMAS. That buys time. That buys Kenzie a little bit of space. He does fire off just a split second too soon, but Lackey is there where he fails. 2 for the MP9. And well, the CT side, a little fortuitous, I think it's safe to say. That short aggression could not have been timed better if they tried. And off the back of it, the rotation out onto the A site, followed by the fast flank, was literally the perfect counter to what Apeks were trying.
Yeah. I mean, even you said where Kenzie failed, and he obviously didn't get that kill for himself, but he did stay alive. He baited them perfectly in, pulled them onto the cross, where his teammates then could get the job done. All he had on his mind right there was staying alive and winning, making sure his teammates could get the job done because they were in better positions. He, on the other hand, could just be a distraction. And it worked perfectly. 8 on the board for Aurora now on this CT side. It should be extended before they come up against another full gun round as well. So 9-7 scoreline is likely to come. And at that point, there's maybe 2 or 3 gun rounds that they need to win out to actually get it to that finish line. So it's a slightly scary position, definitely for Apeks. Only coming in with some pistols here. It's Deagles pretty much across the board. Sense goes for the Tech 9. Maybe not feeling his aim. As I said, having a very rough performance right now on 2 and 10. Those 2 kills have been there for quite a while as well as he gets caught around Connector by Norvi. It was the double aggression. They both fall back out, happy to sit with his advantage, realizing it was only a pistol that they had to contend with there in Connector. No point sticking around up close and personal as Apeks would want.
It's another one of those rounds with the early pick going against them for Apeks, where realistically you're thinking damage, you're thinking Deagle picks, something to make Aurora think twice, because at the moment CT side is finding its recovery quite nicely, especially considering, you know, that last round, that's make or break for the CTs. They get it done, they find a little bit of timing, they get their angles right, and this is now their opportunity, their reward for that. Start to farm away any remaining cash. CacaNito, though, a nice shot, and he doubles it as well. Both A-site players taken in the blink of an eye. There is going to be a fast flank from the MP9 of Celta this time, and players inside of the site before the rotation even comes through. But Kixon, on a recovered M4A1, very nearly makes something of it. 1 kill before he goes down. He buys a little bit of space for Nork. He's being flanked out all the while, and he will be put down before it gets too sketchy. I'll tell you what, though. We just spoke about damage, we spoke about kills, 3 going down for Aurora. That's exactly what Apeks would have wanted, and look what it's going to fuel for them. Full buy coming up.
Yeah, it's a good buy, all right. They couldn't really ask for much more. Nades could be slightly better on 1 or 2 players, but that shouldn't really hold them back, especially with the damage they were able to do in that previous round. Also, they have a chance of breaking Aurora with just the 1 gun round going their way. Put them right back into this game. Molly's deep, the second one not quite landing in the playground, I think, as they expected right there. So mid-control, at least the initial progress of it should be allowed for Apeks. As I say that, though, it's B where the aggression has come through. jkaem got a pretty solid initial kill. Unfortunately, Lackey and Norvi put in the flash peak combo there to go ahead and get the trade. As Sense now wants to press the issue as well up short. This is a dangerous one. He's crept in behind sandbags at the very least, and that catches Lackey off guard. Celta, I believe, was the backup there that he had on the bomb site, but it's a bit too late now. At this point, they've lost the A bomb site in the meantime, and it's one player in the bathrooms who has to somehow cut off these rotations and pull off a miracle, and that's a decent start.
It's 1. The problem is there's still a man down on the B site. Sense has kept Celta close. And at this point, with the bomb going down, it's going to be a matter of can they hold on to these rifles? Nothing more than that, and Sense will start to add to his tally. Grabs the saving Celta. Norway able to at least trade it down, but again, just looking to hold on to the rifle here, because I hate the CT economy in this game. And it is so savage. Couple of rounds on the board. There's nothing left in the bank. So as this one goes away, it's going to be a very rough buy into the next one for Aurora. Normally knowing that, and knowing that he is flying at the moment for Aurora Gaming. 20-9. Far and away the top fragger in the server. Going to hold on to that AK and hoping that he can maybe pull off some magic with it. Oh, look at that economy, Dean. That is just... Oh, it hurts.
Yeah, I mean, they have double eco on 3 players as well. Yeah, they really can't do much here. With the 1 AK attempts them obviously to buy in as you would with the double eco, so you kind of just have to go for it. 1 M4 gets dropped over to Kenzie. Norvy's been playing insane, so at the very least he's the one with that AK in his hands right now, but they need a bit of a miracle in this round if they want to steal it away. If not, they lose this, then they're on the eco finally. Apeks get themselves up towards 10 rounds, and I mean, obviously, that's still a game that could go either way, but Aurora just haven't been able to hold on to, I think, some of these positions where it looks like they might finally be able to start edging their way towards the finish line. Apeks are always able to stabilize and start putting up a bit of a fight at the very least. Again, this is Aurora's map pick, as we mentioned earlier. Mirage, a Puggy map, though, is one that really could go either way, so I'm looking towards who shows off the better kind of individuality throughout this map. I'd say it's maybe being Apeks in that regard in terms of consistency across the board, but they've also had some of the lower points in comparison to what we're seeing from Aurora. Ooh, so much damage and the kill onto CacaNito.
I like it, trying to be proactive with that AK-47, knowing Norway's been the star of the show. He's got the safe rifle. He's got to make a difference, and he doubles it. 2 for Norway on the boost. Kenzie grabs one more out towards A. And as much as jkaem's able to trade 1 back in response, all that map control starts to go against them. Kixon, with only a Mac 10 to play with as well, is trying to hold off the advances of Kenzie on that M4A1. Celta just firing off a couple warning shots on the 5-7. I mean, what is Latic doing up there? I've got no idea. jkaem gets away with murder. Should never have been in that position. And now, well, it's a 2-on-2 inside of this site. And with just a 5-7 available for one of these players, it really is all on Norway once again. He finds his 3rd of the round onto Kixon, though. And jkaem, well, he's trying to isolate these fights, but there's absolutely nothing he can do. A quad kill down on B for Norway, and that is exactly why we saw him save that AK-47. Huge impact in that round. And, well, it's not quite the story you were writing, Dean. It's Aurora with their 10th. It's Apeks again looking down the barrel of a harsh old buy, and an opportunity for Aurora to really start storming away to take their map pick.
Yeah, this might be it. I mean, as we said, they had really scraped it together in that previous round. They made it look easy. Now it's Apeks instead, who only have a couple of rifles to play with. Shure's on a Galil, jkaem as the AK, Tech9s and a Deagle then for Knock. Making a bit of noise around connector in mid, but clearly just looking to quickly bring this back over towards B, where you can get up in the faces of those players who are close. Those Tech9s can find more viable fights alongside the rifles. And they are just going to actually charge through the monster smoke. The problem is there's 2 players ready for it. Knock finds 1 trade at the very least through the smoke, but he's not really in a position to try and follow up or anything. As we can see, another smoke even just goes down on Monster. He's going to be kept at bay right now alongside jkaem as they desperately hope that Aurora will make some massive mistakes, but they just have no need to press the issue. They have a 4-on-2. They just need to play this securely, sit with crossfires in mind, and just ensure that when this push comes through, they have the ability to trade, and there really shouldn't be too much trouble.
That's exactly what they're looking to do here. Locking down, knowing bombs at their feet. Left Latic up towards the A site just to make sure they're not going to get flanked around. He's just jump peeking, no interest in taking a fight whatsoever. jkaem of Nork. It should be curtains. There's the one. Nork able to at least trade the death, but still that 1v3. No util, nothing to isolate these fights. Bomb not available to him. Should be an impossible situation here. Kenzie and Norway have set the crossfire. They're waiting for this exact eventuality, and that's what they get going their way. Norway adding to his already impressive tally, 25 to his name, as it's 11-8, full eco to follow for Apeks. They will be surrendering that point unless something absolutely miraculous comes through. And, well, I say full eco. They're going to force it.
damn. Well, that's more than risky. It does make some sense. I mean, they could have ecoed. They would have been playing for an overtime, then needing the 4 rounds in a row, so that would be tough. So I can see why they'd want to get the round win now, but I mean, their chances are not fantastic. It's pistols across the board. Heads out towards B as they run through the molly, lining up for Lackey. He's only actually going to get 1 kill. I did expect a bit more. The nade might help him out as it finishes off Sense, and his teammates are given time to rotate into position. But the damage back and forth, Nock somehow ends up in a 1-on-2. Yet to get a weapon, unfortunately, but he's making it work. Nock is the hero right now for Apeks. What the hell? Read that rotate in through short there from Kenzie, and he hits a ridiculous second shot on the Deagle. I think it was his 3rd kill overall. Either way, an impressive round from Nock. Showing he can get it done even without that op in his possession.
Heaven player misplayed that one tragically. He just didn't seem aware of where Nork could have got to. Exposed himself for that peak, a little bit of Deagle spam, perhaps slightly fortunate, but the connections landed nonetheless. And then with the peak as advantage, Nork reads it like a book, swings perfectly, pre-aimed onto the short player. And suddenly, what should have been a procession to 12 has turned into a game. CT side have an eco to follow. A couple of bits and pieces invested into. Kenzie gets his hands on a Deagle, Lackey the 5.7, but other than that, full default pistols. And well, Kixon doing what Kixon does best, looking to farm it up on that Mac 10. Goes down early though. Lackey's 5.7 doing the work, and he'll grab another as Kenzie's 1D connects, and this is starting to get dangerous. A 2-on-4 for this T side. They've managed to recover the bomb, but Lackey now on an AK-47 continuing to wreak havoc, swinging into jkaem. As Nork is left wondering what on earth has happened. This was the freebie. This was the easy round, the one in which nothing could go wrong, the opportunity for Kixon to farm on his Mac 10, and instead, it's the Deagles and the 5.7s that combine beautifully. Nork now isolated down on this lower site. Lackey, 4 in the round, continuing his charge to try and meet Norway. And Aurora have a 12th round they had no business winning.
Yeah, I mean, we've been able to say that about these teams in so many situations, though, throughout this map. I mean, Apeks have had their own round wins where they should have had absolutely no right having a chance in them. So, really, it's been a bit of a volatile situation all around, but it seems like Aurora are the ones who are going to be coming out on top unless Apeks find an absolute miracle here towards these last 3 rounds to force us into overtime. Not a good spot to be in. Aggression on mid from Kenzie, not going to stick around as he hears those footsteps already moving in through playground. I think he heard that there was probably at least the 2 players. There was quite a bit of noise being made. Wants to tuck himself in and play for the anti-flasher, I believe, close on long. It's risky though, he's alone. No backup really in a position that can help him out. I think could perhaps throw a flash over along from short right there, but not going to be happening instead. Kenzie just has to lock this down and no sense, even on the Galil. Manages to somehow win out that fight. He's been having a rough game, but that was a big frag to find here to kick this round off.
Jump spot is seen by Latic, but the shot doesn't quite land. Look to be on. Slight inaccuracy gets him, and now Latic looking to make up for his mistakes. He's going to wander right into the crosshairs. Does well to deal with Nork, but dinked up. The trade is instant, and Norway now in an awkward spot. Does manage to find one, and Kixon, well, he's recovered an AWP, but up close and personal, he's going to have to use it more like a shotgun, and that's exactly what he does. Picks off his man, leaving Selter and Lackey. Are we going to have another one of these miracle rounds? 2-on-3 to try and hold off. They are going to get the fight as they head up to this A site. Selter wants to take it sooner, and a huge spray down very nearly deals with Kixon. Fast flank coming in from Lackey. He's just got to be quiet here. There's kills for the taking. It's just a matter of timing. And Kixon, well, he's aware of the possibility, but he's not looking the right way right now, and they will surely line up for him. Lackey gets the big kill. That's bomb carrier down, and now CacaNito, he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's going to go for the plant on truck with limited time on the clock, and will get away with it. Spots out Selter as well. He knows he's got to isolate these 1v1s. He's doing it. Just damn this, and he will find the initial frag down to 45, but the pistol's not enough. 13 it will be. Aurora take their map pick. It's sketchy, it's close, but they get the job done, and that's the critical thing.
Yeah, I mean, what a crazy game. I mean, both halves, both teams had so many moments where it looked like they were in the driver's seat. They had a position to really start running away with the scoreline. I mean, initially Aurora went up 3-0, then Apeks managed quite a few